I stumbled upon a lifeless body deep within the dark woods. Little did I know the horrifying consequences that would unfold from bringing it home. As the caretaker of a sprawling 60-acre land, most of which remained untamed, nature had claimed its domain, infested with ticks and poisonous oak. Despite my 2 decades of residency, there were still unexplored corners shrouded in mystery. Picture me residing far from civilization, beyond the point where main roads metamorphosed into gravel, and subsequently, dirt. Seldom did I encounter another soul here, except for the rare few who received my scarce invitations. On one fateful day, as I busied myself repairing a section of the crumbling fire road, a peculiar sight caught my attention amidst the nearby underbrush. A fleeting orange flash. At first, I dismissed it as a fallen leaf clinging tenaciously to its vibrant hues, but upon closer inspection, I realized it was more substantial, a hunting vest. "Hello?" I called out, met with naught but eerie silence. Curses escaped my lips as regret swirled within me for leaving my shotgun behind. Slowly, cautiously, I approached the enigmatic vest until I stumbled upon something that turned my stomach. In front of me lay a body, mostly intact except for the grotesque absence of its head. Surprisingly, there was no sign of blood. I leaned closer, and what I saw made bile rise in my throat. Instead of a gruesome stump, the neck's surface bore smooth skin, unblemished and unscarred, as if the body had been born without a head, the neck cloaked in flawless flesh. Winter's first snowflakes cascaded upon my back as I grappled with the enigma of this impossible corpse. Its freshness suggested a recent demise, perhaps due to the frigid temperatures. The hands, cool to the touch, appeared pale and drained of life's crimson essence, yet devoid of decay. Strangely, when I rolled up a sleeve, the skin appeared slightly darker than the hand, as though they belonged to disparate beings. Gazing at the opposite arm, I witnessed a different hue altogether, a disturbing lack of uniformity that sent shivers down my spine. I could have abandoned the macabre discovery, leaving it to endure the long winter's embrace, buried beneath feet of snow for 3 or 4 interminable months. But what state would it be in once the thaw arrived? Nay, that was an unsettling prospect. I should have called the county sheriff, but there were secrets hidden on my land, forbidden plants, and code violations that I didn't want him to discover. Instead, I made the unsettling decision to bring the lifeless body back to my house, intending to dispose of it later, perhaps abandoning it in a desolate park for someone else to stumble upon. With great effort, I dragged the corpse to a cart attached to my trusty four-wheeler, hastily racing back to the main house before the snow began to settle. An uninsulated basement was nestled beside the house, accessible only through a solitary staircase in the kitchen. While it served as a haven for pests and a storage spot for tools and supplies, it also offered protection against the elements and the lurking presence of bears. Into that cold sanctuary, I transported the body for the night, unaware of the horrors that awaited me. After washing up, I heated a can of red beans on my cook stove and settled in front of the television to catch up on the news. An eerie realization dawned upon me that this was the first time in years I had company. Little did I know that the night would take a sinister turn. Time passed, and the drinks flowed freely. As I headed to the kitchen for another beer, a peculiar sound caught my attention. A faint thump, followed by a dragging noise, echoed from beneath me. In the wilderness, the roof often played host to jumping animals, but this sound originated from below. I couldn't deny the unease that washed over me after encountering the lifeless body. Reluctantly, I gripped my shotgun, stealthily approaching the basement door, striving to maintain absolute silence. Peering down the stairs, I could barely discern the corpse's feet near the bottom. Yet, confusion gripped me, for I distinctly remembered leaving the body on the opposite side of the room. My voice quivered into the darkness, breaking the silence. "Hello? Hello?" Unsurprisingly, no response came. I closed the door, intending to retreat to the safety of the living room. Before I could regain my composure, another thump resonated through the house. And then another. Compelled by an invisible force, I returned to the door, but this time, something within me resisted opening it. Instead, I locked the door securely. As I did so, the thumps grew louder and closer, morphing into an urgent rattling of the doorknob. Taking steps back, I watched in horror as the wooden door began to buckle and splinter under the relentless assault. Panic surged within me, and I aimed my gun at the door, firing a desperate shot. Several thumps followed as something tumbled down the stairs. My heart raced so fiercely that a tingling sensation crept down my left arm. In the brief silence that ensued, the thumps recommenced. One by one, they ascended the stairs, growing in intensity with each passing moment. A part of me yearned to confront the entity, to stand my ground and defend my sanctuary. But in that chilling moment, reason pierced through the haze of adrenaline, whispering a dire warning. If a single blast from my shotgun had failed to vanquish the abomination at my door, what hope did a second shot hold? It was a futile endeavor. For the first time in my life, fear conquered my pride. I fled with desperation gripping my heart. The four-wheeler awaited me, and with trembling hands, I unfastened the cart. Through the raging storm, I sped, my knuckles whitening around the handlebars, navigating treacherous terrain with a hair-raising intensity. Yet, despite the roar of the engine and the howling wind, I could not silence the haunting echoes of pursuit reverberating in my ears. It was as if the thing itself sprinted blindly through the relentless snow, inching closer with every passing second, determined to claim me as its prize. Only upon reaching the safety of the main road did I dare to draw a breath, a meager gasp of relief escaping my lips. But even then, I dared not relinquish my vigilance. I continued to cast furtive glances over my shoulder, fearing the relentless pursuit, convinced that the creature lurked in the shadows, yearning to seize me in its clutches. Arriving at the heart of the city, I found solace in the bosom of humanity, seeking refuge within the confines of the most crowded bar I could find. I never returned to the cursed property that had once been my home. Its doors closed to me forever, consumed by the gaping maw of an insidious fate. I sold it to a wealthy interloper from California, who raised my cherished cabin to erect a formidable fortress of metal and glass. Perhaps that would safeguard him, but as for me, I vowed never to venture into those woods again. Please like the video if you enjoy watching it, but beware, for what you see may haunt you. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for more scary stories. And don't forget to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section.